episode number 3 of the multi-sport practice cage. With the frame design pretty much wrapped up, I want to start focusing on the guts and the subsystems.
That's right, Jeremy, but it's pretty cold out here, so let's go, Nate.
I asked my friend Stephen Endersby to come by to help me with some reverse engineering and some destruction before we get into CAD and motion simulation.
Aim right for his noggin. Jeremy, I am your father.
Man, this thing is powerful. The mechanism is really simple to use too.
Exactly, Jeremy. Now the trajectory looks pretty good and consistent, but it's time for you to put this apple on your head so I can have a go.
Forget it. Game over.
Well, Jeremy, that was a brilliant field test, but it's time to fire up SolidWorks and get this design moving.
Yeah, I agree. So let me show you where we're at so far. We have the cage here and the players. The launchers, I'm thinking, are going to be housed within the multi-goal area on each end.
Very nice, but as we discovered, I think you're going to need 2 launchers, one in the upper level for your American football, and one at the lower level for the real football and street hockey.
Sounds about right. Well, let's start by modeling the football launcher. Now, the launcher we purchased has a fantastic design, but one of the things we don't need is the tripod base.
Yeah, I think we can get away with a simpler mount. It can still pivot left to right, enough to aim, and if you keep the critical dimensions off the push arm, you're going to throw a really nice tight spiral.
Wow, listen to you, talking American football terms. We might have a fan after all. I can reuse the rest of the launcher, like the motor area, the cable drive, the speed controller.
But let's look at this launch within your multi-goal assembly. How is it going to fit?
To me, it makes sense to keep it high enough to throw the useful pass back to the player, but low enough for it to work correctly with the hopper sort of device that we're still working out. You know, it's got to be able to receive the footballs in the upper section to throw the pass correctly back, so it can't be too low.
Nice. And I think you might put some football coaches out of work soon. Now, I feel good about the launcher layout and location, but the sorting mechanism, I think that's going to be a pretty tricky problem to solve.
All right, let's start with the hopper design. It's going to span across the upper section of the goal.
Now, I'd say some sheet metal or nets would contain the action well.
SolidWorks has this really neat tool, Convert to Sheet Metal. All I have to do is generate a block shape that represents the area we want to contain.
Right.
Then I click on that feature, pick the base, pick the bend edges, and SolidWorks does all the rest. Makes life easy.
Now, this hopper is going to function just like a funnel, dropping the balls one by one into our launcher. All we have to do, add a couple of guide rods to sort the balls, and Bob's your uncle. Job done.
Right, then all I have to do is load the ball into the launcher.
Now, in theory, this should work perfectly, but I suggest we check ourselves against a little motion simulation.
Right,
so,
right.
Hold this,
Okay.
It's gut check time. Now, setting up this problem is really easy. All we have to do is turn on gravity, set the contact, and then hit run. Look at that. It's a thing of beauty.
It is. I like how the loading device works. That is simple, it's efficient. I mean, sure, the overall design still needs a few items that we could adjust, but...
That's just packaging work. I say you're bloody close here. I'll see you later.
All right, last item for today is the vote. You remember Robinson and I had differing views on a scoring system. Well, the CAD community has spoken, and we're gonna go with my choice, the 1 point per goal system. Now, we've got another important vote for you. This one comes from comments from both Robert and Paul on the site. And they pointed out that athletes need to also practice sharp angle and corner shots too. Good point. So the vote is, should the goals rotate, or do we remove the center wall to accommodate angles? So get those votes in and keep those comments coming. Next episode, we're gonna do some serious rapid prototyping with this awesome machine.